Good evening, November Foxtrot.
Ow.
Brilliant.
Hello. I burnt my lip. Oh, yes.
So, welcome all.
Evening all.
Hi, Andy. Hi, Phil. Hi, Nick. So we've got a new host. It's a surprise.
It's a Bond silhouette.
It's a Bond silhouette. Our entire...
Who is it?
This is... Also, I feel like I've relegated you, Lance. Maybe I'll have to move you back there.
No, I don't mind being at the bottom. I've got big shoulders, holding all you clowns up.
Hi, Kieran. Hi, Les. Hi, Mr. Me. I still don't like Mr. Me.
No, that needs to be changed. No,
hi,
seriously.
Tom.
Like one big pimpings. Danny.
Nick,
Croydon Hammond in the house.
I will have to have a beard. Tom says, "Is it me?"
It is
come on
actually,
in,
yeah.
come on in, mystery person, reveal yourself
Tonight, Matthew. Ooh.
Hey!
Fellow beard wearer.
I know, I'm gonna have to work on it.
You're gonna have to step up, Mike. Andy Bob, welcome along.
So Andy will be joining us as a new perma host of the podcast.
Right.
Sorry, I'm just changing your name, Andy, for you. I was being polite.
And that's it from me, everyone. So fuck us to it.
Oh, Les says, "Who the fuck is that?"
Yeah. all will be revealed, Lesmond. Don't you worry, son.
Hi, Daniel.
It's me.
Andy. Yeah, Mr. Beat sounds like an OnlyFans page. Awesome, Andy. It's a great pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you very much.
You went through a rigorous selection process.
Yeah, I was
tennis clap for you, sir.
That was choice
tennis
99.
Oh dear.
Yeah, the vetting was very heavy.
Yeah.
No one else would do it.
There was heavy vetting, or was it heavy petting? I don't remember which one it was.
I think there was a bit of both, wasn't there?
Danny, we haven't forgotten about you. Danny. We're still going to be getting you on to do the Croydon Hammond reporting.
Yeah, Croydon Hammond's listen with Hammond is a thing. It is actually going to be a thing, so don't worry. Captain Slapfuck, evening, sir. How are we doing?
Yeah.
I was doing some slapfuck today, actually. Quite enjoyed that.
You were.
Yeah.
I didn't go up to the neck,
video.
though, so that was quite... It must have been really intense. I mean, I went up to the knee-ish area. So he must have been... He's extreme. Extreme brewer.
Hi, Mike.
He
did go quite deep.
He always goes deep. Go deep or go home. That's his motto.
I sure would. Oh, blimey. Right. So just a few quick things. We had an email come in from Ryan, who's currently serving infantry. Big fan of Sterling and Legion. So big shout out to Ryan. He had a lot of interesting thoughts on the MilSim. What makes a MilSim, and when is it just an extended skirmish or a combat event or anything like that? And he suggested you could always have checklists or something like that as a way to identify it. And it's an interesting concept because you could almost have like a MilSim score. Like, is it like a 3 out of 10 for a MilSim, or is it a 10 out of 10 MilSim? So
yeah, but then at what point does it? If you scored it, sort of thing, I suppose. At what point, when you decrease him from being MilSim being 10s, does it then drop down into being like a regular event when it gets past 5 or something? I don't know.
I don't know.
No, I think he was saying.
I think there was categories it needed to meet for it to qualify as MilSim.
Yeah, so like each point had its own sort of
so it's
box, wasn't it? So if it ticks all boxes, it'd be 10 out of 10. And you work from there on the MilSim side of things.
That's like almost like one of them, is it broken? Yes or no side of thing. All leads back to MilSim at the bottom.
Yeah. I mean, it would work. I mean, it would be an interesting one, because I mean, Tom's just saying Baz from Octo 8 had a MilSim score system at one point. I mean, if you did have, maybe it's something that we could put on our website as a rough identifier. Like people could kind of like gauge like when you have spicy food, is this 5 chilies or 1 chili?
Ooh, how spicy is this event I'm attending?
Yeah.
I like. Yeah.
How many
spice factor?
Is it?
Well, maybe we could do a bit of a thing in there. Can we get like a bit of a poll system on there? where people could submit like what they believe to be MilSim. I'm going to say it like that.
We can try a poll.
Well, no, we can't. You can.
I'll give it a go.
He can. Him. Jobs for afterwards,
Sherwood
Mike.
says, cheers, Lance. I've just written a note. Cheers, Lance, for info on the webbing.
Pleasure, mate. Awesome setup, buddy. Yep, that looked cool. That did. Happy
Les
to
says,
help.
oi, sexy, big tits, Andy, big boy, schlong.
I'll live with that.
Might have to get Hammond to translate that one.
No, so I understand that one. The big tits bit, I understood.
That's what we got. That's what we got Andy on, just so he can translate. Gordon Hammond. Harry says, after seeing Lance drinking from his Trigger Stanley mug last week, mine was literally just arrived during the show. How does it feel being proper influencers? Oh, I haven't got mine to hand. Oh, I do have mine to hand.
Well, Andy, yeah, sorry, that's part of the remit for being on the show is to have one of these. So if you haven't, then sorry.
Oh, Andy hasn't got one.
Oh, I do. I'll let you off. Yeah, fair enough. You bastard! I can't have one. This is coffee, or is it gin? We don't know.
It's a mystery.
I've got Dr. Pepper. I'm really getting into Dr. Pepper at the moment because it's
a sponsor.
Slightly healthier than Coke. Yeah, Dr. Pepper. They are really helpful.
For all your MilSim needs.
Two other things I just wanted to mention, just as a general informationary advice service. If you still haven't ordered any lateral flow tests and you need any, I think they're still free. So
I was literally going to think you say you've got a load now for £1.
No, I'm not going to. No, that's not where I was going with that. It's just if anyone does need them, because I wasn't sure.
I'm chucking a NoFo sticker. Deal.
And whilst I appreciate all the events going on in Ukraine at the moment, there's obviously going to be a lot of questions that people might want to ask about that and how it relates to Airsoft. It's Ukraine as a whole is a shitty subject with what's going on. So we're obviously not going to be talking about that, but there are ramifications sort of for Airsoft. So we'll be dealing with some of those questions next week. So if anyone wants to throw anything in the chat, that's fine, but don't expect us to talk about it tonight because we're going to be dealing with boots. We're going to be dealing with any kind of Q&A stuff next week.
Look, up in Ukraine, go on the boys.
Yeah,
that's all I can say for that. Give them hell. Yeah, shit, isn't it?
It's terrible.
Hope that gets sorted out sooner rather than fucking later. Oh, anyhow, boots.
Yes, boots. Right,
Booties.
hang on.
Is this the intro?
Such a toss-up. I knew you'd go straight in with it.
Where's the little dance halfway through?
Just balls
out. Hang on, I think it started halfway through.
This is new, so this is we've got to remember that we are playing to people that are listening back later on. So
sorry for those on the podcast, we're watching Lance walk through a puddle.
It's quite a big puddle. Actually, that's a big puddle.
It's a big puddle.
I don't think can you class it as a puddle?
I don't know.
A watery lake. Yeah, miniature lake.
Miniature lake.
Yeah, so that was me doing out in the field doing the science earlier today. Getting the Altberg defenders sodding wet. There we go. Splish splashing. Having loads of fun. My dog was literally sat on the bank just staring at me like, what the fuck are you doing? This is not a big puddle. That's not a big puddle. Yeah,
I'd just like to play. When I had all these videos being sent to me, I'd have loved to have just been. Hang on. Danny says, "Fuck me, you can go for a swim in that. Where's your boat?" The swimming pool for Lance.
Yeah, I was quite daunted. It was quite daunting. I actually got a bit of a cold sweat walking towards it. I was like, oh. Wonder if I should tether myself off to a tree.
When I had all this, when I had all these videos of you just walking through this bog or whatever, for all intents and purposes, like I was thinking, I'd love to have just been in the forest watching, because without any context, it's just a guy walking through a puddle.
I want to know why you'd be in the forest watching me. I want to know why you were there for a start.
You do look really happy though, Lance.
I had a lovely time. Actually, I'll tell you what, because I did some footage prior to finding the lake, the abyss that I found, and I actually struggled to get my boots wet as I wanted them to get wet, so like pouring in over the top. Like all these tracks that my truck had made through the forest and stuff like that. I was like, oh, look, there's a big, deep ditch. Let's go through that one. I was like, oh, still dry. I was like, splash, 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 splash. Trousers are getting really wet. Oh, fuck's sake, my feet are still dry. And I'm really saturated up to like the waist. I was just like, splash, 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 come on. And I was like, oh, look, there's one. Get in there. And I stepped into it. I was like, oh, fuck me, that's really deep. I'm like, I'm here now. I'm committed. Just stomp through it. Rawr.
It's like calling you Peppa Pig.
Oh, I got that from Fresh Meat earlier, didn't I? I'm not going to call him Mr. Meat. I refuse to. That was not discussed. That nickname, all nickname changes, for now have to be put to a panel.
It does sound like an OnlyFans page.
Mr.
Sign
Meat.
Sign up to Mr. Meat.
Savoury.
Oh, it's just gross. It's just not pleasant.
Gross on all levels.
Right. Let's go. What were we talking about? We're talking about
I have
boots.
no idea. You started talking about Wayne's meat again.
Talking about boots. I'll tell you what. We'll dive into Pew's news. Pew's news. We're going to get an intro for that, but at the moment, that's what you get. Has anyone got any interesting purchases this week that they want to talk about?
No.
Yes.
We have. We got some stuff last week, Mike, which we didn't mention.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, your sex toy deliveries.
Yeah. Love, honey. Thank you. Oi, oi.
I think, to be fair, that could be.
It's a cover for. I didn't even think about that.
It's a stretcher.
Yeah.
No, so this was very kindly sent to Lance and I. Did you get one, Andy?
No.
Oh, I feel bad now. It's very kindly sent to Lance and I by our awesome friend, Mr. Badger, along with his super cool patch, by the way. Love that.
Yes, I've got a patch.
But this is a new mortar cover cap for the 48 mil paramortar. 38 mil paramortar.
Can I just show the tip, or not allowed to
show the tip? Just show the tip, because that'll explain where it goes. There you go. The awkwardly stern face was probably a little bit unnecessary, but we'll go with it.
Just the tip, okay.
Look at my tube.
Nothing to see here but the tip. Also an element of the fan OnlyFans section. Log in now to see the tip.
This is pre-3D printed with a striker cap on the top as well, which means obviously when you're deploying the mortar round, it's a lot easier. You don't have to faff about trying to find the striking plate.
Yep.
So yeah, look forward to giving that a go. Super excited by that.
Lovely bit of workmanship. Yes, I've got a spare striker pad as well.
Yes.
So very, very thankful to Harry for that wonderful workmanship he's done. Got him on another project as well. Spoke to him, had a telephone meeting with him yesterday via telecommunicators, and we had a little chat. But I'm not going to say any more yet till it's ready.
Well, that was an anticlimax. Right, Andy, what did you get?
Just the Unity mount.
Oh, nice. The Vortex.
Mount. Yeah, from my Vortex. I couldn't see it. It was too low with my Peltors on. I was like, oh.
Yeah,
I was like that.
Twist it up.
Yeah.
What's that, about an inch raise, is it, Andy, on it?
So it goes from 1.92 to 2.8.
Fucking hell, fair play.
So, yeah, raise it up just over, about half inch, isn't it?
Fair play, nice.
Yeah. So
half inch does make all the difference.
Absolutely. Especially when you're only dealing with the tip.
Yeah. But I can't show it because I put it on the gun. So
Harry's just trying to say, it says nice tip, happy it fits, version 2 in the works.
Ooh. It's a nice tip. Well, that's enough about tips. Come on.
Yep, right. Boots. Topic for the day. We're obviously talking about boots. So do you want to kick it off, Lance? Footwear introduction.
An introduction to footwear. So yeah, I mean, obviously everyone who's been airsofting for a while is gonna have right, Mike?
What?
No, carry on.
No, I'm just saying, like, obviously one of the first things when getting into do you have to? There's no need for that. It's not even I just wish I'd never done it. I wish I'd never done science today because I knew you would take the piss.
So for extra credits, if people want, our OnlyFans is now featuring Lance's feet.
Yeah, Tootsies.
Yeah, Tootsies.
All 10 of them. I'd like to add. You're getting 10 for some bang for your buck there.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyhow, you two are
beat.
So yeah, obviously getting into airsoft, you're gonna everyone says it, boots and eye pro. It's the two main things. Don't really scrimp on it. You know, I think personally, I mean, I've never paid more than sort of 60 quid for a pair of boots, but I've got ex-army stuff like my Altberg Defenders. I just swear by them; they're amazing. And my Aku Pilgrims, I was kindly gifted to me by my brother-in-law, so I was very lucky for them with them. But yeah, Altberg Defenders. I mean, I've got mine here. These aren't from today; these are my second pair, but these are just wicked. I mean, like I said to you before we came on, when I was doing them videos earlier, I struggled to get these. Well, not submerged, but I stood in a ditch, probably sort of up to there with water for 4 or 5 minutes just to see if they would soak through. And I think they were bone dry. My feet were bone dry. So that's why I actually had to go and find it proper deep water to get water to go in over the top in the end. Because I was just getting like, this is what wasting my time now. I need to find somewhere deep without jumping a pond or a river, which I wasn't going to do. But yeah, Altberg Defenders, you could pick them up on eBay anywhere like that for sort of 40 quid. You know, Preppers UK, Military Mart, all loads of places do them. You know, they're a standard boot, but I think they're wicked. They're really good. They're a really good, solid waterproof boot. Look after them, you know, with your dubbing and stuff. But yeah, they're wicked. You can wear them all year round. I mean, I use my Akus during the summer because they're a bit lighter, a little bit softer. But as soon as like the winter months and it's getting a lot wetter and stuff like that, I straight to my Defenders. I think they're a wicked boot. So I would highly recommend if anyone's in the market for a new pair or getting into it and they need to get some footwear, Altberg Defenders, you can't go wrong with them.
Yeah, you can pick them up in most places as well, aren't you? And they're not expensive at all.
No, not at all, mate. And for me, I mean, some people probably don't like them. Some people probably hate them. You know, it's tit for tat in it. But I love them. I think they're a great boot. Really good, strong, solid boot. Very reliable. Very reliable. What about yourself?
See, I've always used the Hakes. You know, I do have a pair of Altberg Defenders, and I've not really, to be fair, worn them in yet. But I got a pair of Hakes. I'm not even sure what make they are, or like models, sorry. But I got a pair of those second hands, like 25 quid, from Semaphore in Maidstone. And they've lasted me for ages, absolute ages, no problem at all. I appreciate they're second hand, so that might put a lot of people off from buying them. But again, you know, if we're talking on a budget, you're talking basically for a decent pair of boots, anywhere between 25 for a second hand pair. And then, you know, if you're looking for bob on, but yours second hand or yours brand
Mine
new?
were, and do you know what? Second hand, it's not always a bad route to go down because sometimes a lot of military boots they do have to get broken in, and the poor Tommy who's smashed them from brand new's done the hard work for you. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? As long as they've got a solid sole, the stitching's not gone, there's no big gashes in the leather, in the toe cap and stuff like that. You know, they might have the odd scuff on them. Some of them don't. Some of them are really well looked after, for obvious reasons. You know, like I said, the breaking in's been done for you. You might have to change the insole to sort of something that sort of meets your requirements for your feet and that, but and to mold to your foot. But other than that, nothing wrong with getting surplus boots at all. Like I said, you know, they've all been softened up for you. You can get some real bargains out there, like for real cheap prices, and they're real solid boots as well. So it's hard to choose them now. There's too many options out there, and there's too many good sets of boots out there. You know, you know, there's a lot of good quality boots to be had.
How about you, Andy?
I'm a big Solomon fan. I've got 2 pairs. I've got a Gore-Tex line set, which I've had for 10 years now, and it's gone. I've used them for hiking and everything. And then I bought a summer pair that haven't got any Gore-Tex lining in, and they're quite a lightweight boot. But you show them a little bit of water and they get wet. Your toes just because they're all. I think they're a desert boot. So, but for summer, they're absolutely brilliant. Summer games where you haven't had any rain for a couple of days, you're not. It's perfect. Your feet aren't sweating or anything. But my Gore-Tex ones, yeah, absolutely love them. Like they've been hiking in Germany, had them 10 years, and they're still going strong. I've had to change the laces more than I've had to change my boots.
Yeah, that's no bad thing. That's always a good feature. Spare laces. Not many people carry spare laces when they go to an event, weekender, something like that. Always good. Keep that in your little possibles pouch. Spare pair of laces.
But a lot of boots now, they're doing that laceless tie-up, aren't they?
Yeah, a lot of the guys at my work have got them now. It's just like almost like power laces. Do you know what I mean? Like the old Back to the Future 2. You just want someone rocking them silver Nikes. Power laces. But yeah, it's just a little draw cord. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what's on my new Solomons, the summer ones.
I think you can buy that as a kit, you know. I think you can get it as an individual kit if you want to do away with laces.
Oh, what was like an add-on?
And I've seen another thing as well for it. I don't know how good they'll be for boots, like for in a more rugged environment, like work boots or like for cutting about in the woods or whatever. But I know you can get them for trainers, and it's almost like a real hard rubber that goes through each eyelet, and it's like got like a T-bar on each end. So you've got like individual laces on each. So where you've got your sets of eyes going up the shoe, you've got like one band that goes across, but it pulls it tight. But obviously it stretches enough for you to get your foot in. So there's actually no lace there. They're like 6 or 7 individual lines going across, which I thought might be pretty cool. I don't know how strong they are for support in a boot. And I've seen them in trainers and stuff like that. So whether it's more of a fashiony sort of thing, I don't know. But that could be something worth looking at. But I don't know. Can't be a good old.
I mean, ultimately, you know, it is a personal preference, isn't it? I mean, for
sure.
me, I actually quite like the laces. I like having that kind of ability to make sure everything's nice and tight, and sort of, you know, where it needs to be, and then loose around the top. Because I find that, you know, that just suits me better personally.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I mean, just looking in the chat, so quite a few people have got obviously preferences on their boots. So Nick had a pair of Matterhorn boots with a replaceable Vibram sole. So that's not a bad one. Ryan. So Ryan, I think Ryan, you were the guy that emailed us. So thanks for that. Issued defenders and AKUs, sorry, wear the defenders in the winter but have very limited ankle flex. So when kneeling, etc., struggle with them. Swear by my Aku, have 3 pairs for Airsoft hills and everything else I do.
Yeah, Akus, mate, are wicked. Yeah, I think I've got the Aku Pilgrim MOD GTXs. I think, or GTX MODs, one of the two.
Les says, I've got the defenders and they're so uncomfortable.
Oh, no.
So,
not a fan.
No. Fresh Mate. Thanks, Fresh Mate. Changing it. It was a toss-up between Oldberg and Lower. Went with the Lower as I got a fantastic deal. So, I mean, that's the other thing, isn't it? Budget is an important thing.
Exactly, yeah.
Chris says, Hakes, Altberg, and Lower. Use them all the time, and I'm always dry and supported. There we go. Sounds like pants, doesn't it? I'm dry and supported.
Yeah. So there's a potential advert. There's a potential market for Chris there doing some adverts for gentlemen's things later on.
James Lee, fucking hate Altberg defenders. Absolutely awful.
Oh my!
You have narrow feet. Aku Pilgrims, absolutely beautiful fit for people with narrow feet.
I don't know if I've got narrow feet. Maybe I haven't got narrow feet.
Maybe you do.
Well, no, because my Altbergs are really comfy and my Pilgrims are really comfy. Maybe my feet change depending on my footwear.
Yeah.
Or they're just chubby and they just spread into the boot. Oh, these are nice.
That's gross. Ray says
that spread out. Oh yeah, no, they're comfy now. It's all right.
Ray says Merrill have started doing laceless shoes and stuff. They use elastic in there that you tighten and with a clip thing apparently. So, and then Danny says Aku are wicked. You can set them on fire and they're still good to go.
Absolutely, Dan and Corden Hammond would know.
Yeah. So we were at the we did a little invitational event a while ago, and Danny sat too close to the fire, hit the sole of his shoe, literally melted off. It just flopped off the end of his boot because the glue melted basically, and it literally just walked around a little bit after that. Glue set again, job done, no problem.
Can't argue with that, can you?
No, that was literally it. Just stood up, put a bit of pressure on him. Was like, oh, they're all right.
Yeah, job done.
Unlike sealskin gloves.
The sealskin gloves are not fireproof, as Silly Gilly
thermal.
Evidently proved on that Fable evening.
It's science with NoFo.
I can see why he's called Silly Gilly now, and not Gilly.
So do you guys find that you wear different boots depending on like the summer and winter? Obviously, Andy, you sort of implied that you've got 2 pairs.
Yeah, I never used to. It was only last year that I bought the summer pair because I just found that the Gore-Tex ones, my feet weren't getting wet. Well, they were getting wet, but from sweat because they were just keeping everything in. So I was like, right, well, I should really have a pair because I was changing my socks just through sweating and running around in them all day. So
yeah, no, fair one. I mean, I use me Altberg defenders. Obviously, they're a much higher sitting boot compared to my Pilgrims. I mean, obviously, the top of my Pilgrim probably finishes about there. So I've got a good 2.5 inches left of boot. Purely more for the winter months, the real wet season sort of thing for support, ankle support, and obviously boggy areas. You know, don't end up with some splat fuck on me. So Altberg defenders for pretty much the majority of the year.
There's a lot of new people in the chat that I know full well don't know what the Splatfuck thing is. So can you just explain that quickly?
Is Mike Brewer, Captain Splatfuck. There, so that was the sound and the swear word he must have made. I wasn't there at the time, but he fell into a bog at an event, literally up to his armpits, covered all his gear. So Splatfuck is the initial sound of him contacting the bog. Fuck. So there's Splatfuck word. I think he's actually got a name tape now as well, hasn't he?
He does.
Is there a name tape? Brilliant. We love that. Love that. And I think Fresh Meat's got one as well. So I'm loving the NoFo dishing out the nicknames. Brilliant.
It's commitment. Commitment to the cause.
Yeah. So yeah, Altberg defenders for the winter months, and like I said, the majority of the year in the UK because it's constantly wintry. And then when we get that little bit of bright light in the sky, and it's nice, dry, toasty ground, I get the pilgrims out because they're like trainers. They're so comfortable. They're wicked. So yeah, they are my choices.
See, I just use the Hakes. I just, from day dot, I've had them. They work perfectly. The only thing I do change up is the thickness of sock.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
So in the winter, I generally tend to wear like a single pair of like mountain climbing socks or whatever, and then in the summer I wear a single pair, and then in the winter I've got like 4 or 5 pairs of socks on.
Bloody hell, really?
Well, they're thin socks. They're just like the it depends on how cold it is, but yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. So I run like my pilgrims. I can run just like a normal pair of sports socks. Do you know what I mean? Whatever, slightly elasticated sports sock. Or I can wear like a thicker sock over the top as well, and it won't make any difference to the fit, really, which I find quite good in a way. So it's summertime. I can just crack on with a pair of normal socks, and not have any problems. 9 times out of 10, I do chuck on which I forgot to bring up with me. My ones I got from Decathlon, the green and brown hunting sock. You get them in the fishing section in Decathlon.
Yeah,
best socks I've ever bought.
That's what I got.
I think they're about $7.99, Andy.
Yeah,
if that,
nothing
for a pair. And I've got a pair for work, and I've got a couple of pairs for when I'm out walking the dog or whatnot. Yeah. Wicked socks. But like I said, I can wear like a little normal cotton pair of sports socks, Adidas or whatever socks for in the summer months, or chuck on the thicker ones. And in the winter months, I definitely wear 2 pairs. I definitely wear a sports pair and my Decathlon ones in my Altbergs. They're just so comfortable, lovely and warm, really good. Yeah, socks.
Yeah. Yes. Ryan's made a good point about the Gore-Tex boots. That is a downside to them. So I've run them for years, and if you do get really, really wet, it just takes them forever to dry.
Mm-hmm.
But getting them wet is the hard part. But I've always had at least one set of Gore-Tex boots if I'm running around in mud and stuff, because I know that my feet aren't going to get overly wet. And they are highs as well. Yeah. They're not mids or anything. So they do give me a bit of protection. But it is a good point that Ryan raised. If they get wet, it takes forever to dry out. So
that's because I've got to admit, today was the first time that I properly submerged my feet like for a amount of time. I've splashed through a big old puddle before. And it's not really, by the time you've gone into it, you're out of it, and the water sort of glanced off. It's not really a big issue. But like actually submerged my boots, and I was so impressed with not only how quickly my Altberg defenders that I wore today for the science are now completely dry. Bone dry, absolutely completely dry. Sat at home in the warm. The sealskin sock absorbed so much moisture out of the inside of the boot. I was blown away. So we can go into that in a bit with the sort of like the steels and that. But yeah, amazing. I was so impressed at how quickly they dry. I know you're not out in the field. I brought them home. They're in a warm environment, sort of thing. But I mean, other boots I've had, it's taken like a couple of days just sitting there. Fucking come on, putting newspaper inside them and that, and then putting them next to a radiator to get the hot air around them and stuff. Like, they were just literally sat in the living room. Just like I'll check them before I come up to do the show tonight, and like, they're dry, unbelievable. Love
that. Nick says the technology that's gone into boots really has come along since DMS boots or Boots Combat High.
Yes.
He did also ask a question, what about insoles? Do you guys run any insoles in your boots?
Not aftermarket ones, I don't personally. I have got some spare insoles. Sort of like you can cut them down sort of thing, depending on width. And you can what I do find now and again is I'll get an ache in my arch, especially in my rollerblades. So I think I need to get a slightly raised insole for them, which I might try. But then again, I've never had it like with these boots, so I'm inclined not to bother. Because I mean, by the time you've got a couple of pairs of socks on, you stick them in there. There's more than enough padding around them. But I know a lot of people do use aftermarket insoles for their boots. Purely for you get gel filled ones and stuff like that. Ones that react and get warm in the winter months and stuff like that. It's real crazy ones out there you can get.
I just wear 2 pairs of socks now. Like just a thin thermal pair and a thick, walking pair.
Yeah.
It also helps when you're breaking in boots because your skin's not rubbing against the socks.
That's what I mean. We had Rage on for the first aid one, and he said about the sock, your skin rubbing against the sock rather than the boot. You're reducing that friction of your actual meat of your foot.
Yeah.
Great, avoiding the blister sort of thing, you know.
I always wear 2 pairs of socks. I'm wearing 2 pairs of socks now. I've got into the habit of it. I can't stop.
Oh, cool. always in the fight.
Yeah. Mrs. hates it. Mrs. hates it.
She got to the point where she doesn't even pull them apart now. They just goes into the machine as one sock in one. One ball where you scrunch it up.
James C says personally had a great success with Poundland's foam insoles. Bit of a disposable option after a few months. The foam's gone, but they are great.
Fair play, mate. Yeah, well, like I said, Poundland. It's not a massive cost outlay, is it? So you can afford to get a few sets of them. Why not? Absolutely.
There's a bit of chat as well about drying the boots out. So Ryan says if you get boots wet a lot, buy some portable boot dryers. Kenny Rebel, I made a gizmo from some plumbing pipe. You attach a hairdryer and it splits air into each boot.
Oh, fair play, like that. That's cool.
Yeah, I like that.
Nice.
Kenny also says merino socks are lush, and I have to agree with him.
Yeah.
What was the name of the socks that you guys were talking about from Decathlon? Because we'll obviously get a link to that. Someone's asking for it.
I think it's pretty much their generic sort of French camping brand. Mike, you've mentioned it a lot. Is it Quetcher? It could be Quetcher, but it's in their fishing or hunting section. They're green and brown, sort of like almost like a thermal woolly winter sock sort of thing. You can get them sort of quite high.
We'll get a link and we'll put it up on the website as well.
Yeah, definitely.
We're going to create like a little, not really a product database because we don't want to seem like we're just advertising other people's stuff.
A bit of a shopping list for you.
We'll put some stuff up there as an idea. So. Harry says, "Oh, the Decathlon socks called Quetcher. You're influencing me again."
Influence.
And Rage says the socks will rub against each other, so reduces that hot spot on your skin.
Yeah. That's the kiddie. That's it. I remember Rage. Like Stranger. To get it in there.
Danny goes with the Millwall football socks.
Sorry, who?
You are.
That must be a Croydon thing.
Don't say that.
So, in terms of, we're talking about blisters and bits and pieces like that. Let's go into foot treatment and first aid a little bit. In the video that you did earlier, Lance, you were obviously applying foot powder.
Yeah, do you want to show a bit of that now? Now you've finished taking the piss and you've got it out your system?
I don't think I've fully got it out of my system, but it's fine.
You can watch it to your heart's content later on, can't you?
Yeah, so there's a proper, Lance has actually gone to the effort of making a mini feet movie, which we will get uploaded onto various platforms.
Yeah.
We'll probably whack it on YouTube as a separate little clip and then people can find it if they want to.
No, there's been no expense spared, by the way, with the video, as you can probably imagine.
So that's Lance's foot.
Get the uncensored version.
So this is completely X-rated, no filtering. This is raw science.
So presumably this is you obviously drying your foot.
Toweling the feet, fully toweled. Powdering. So it's boots, medicated foot powder. It just helps. It's nice, good stuff.
Got a very long, big toe, don't you?
You know, baby. You never complained before.
So what sort of powder is it?
Mind you, a lot of the time it's been dark, isn't it? So this is probably quite new for you. Mike's gone, good God, is that it?
So what's the powder?
It's a... Stop it. It's medicated foot powder, Mike.
Is that where's that from then?
Just from boots. Boots, medicated foot powder.
Boots, pun the pun.
Oh, on and on it goes. Doublon, fucking tondrous.
So what makes it medicated?
Oh, loads
Like,
of stuff is inside it.
Just to stop, like...
Yeah, it's antifungal, anti this, anti that.
So
Yeah.
more preventative.
Rage says, if you have healthy feet, medicated foot powder is a waste of money. Just use talc or baby powder.
I looked at the talc and the baby powder and that, and I thought, because I saw medicated, I thought, well, it can only be good because it's got medicated in it. But it is essentially talc. I mean, you can use talc. Talc it's doing the same thing as what talc does. You know, it is. I bought that one. I think the other reason was because it's slightly smaller than the talc bottles. Antifungal shit in it. There we go. Antifungal shit in it. So definitely worth it because it's a prevention, isn't it? If you've already got it on there, you're not going to get fungal.
Oh, there we go. A bit of a budget point here. James C. Savers sell the same sort of stuff and it's a fair bit cheaper.
Savers sell.
Savers?
Yeah. Who's Savers?
Yeah, I think they're like a little...
Budget boots.
Oh, okay. Oh. Nice.
Kenny, mate, you are my favourite. He says these photos are criminal.
Oh, give that man a cigar. Oh.
Going back to the serious point. Rage says, if you don't have a fungal infection, then what's the point of the antifungal?
Oh, I don't know, Rage. It's just there. It was medicated foot powder. I just got it because it's a small packable bottle.
Just tell him off, Rage. Stop it.
Sorry, all right. I won't do it again.
See. So I went through a bit of a phase of using the zinc oxide tape as well. So it doesn't work well with the foot powder, I found, because obviously it's a tape.
You just kind of glue yourself together.
Sorry, Cameron just says photos are totally perfect.
This is the trouble. Why have you opened your fucking mouth? And that's going to look where you've started.
He also said earlier, he said normally I have to pay $7.99 a month for this type of content. So.
Well, there you go.
See, I told you, OnlyFans is the way to go. Give all this away for free.
So yeah, with the zinc oxide tape,
I feel quite thingy now. People are getting off on my toes. What's the word? Not dirty. I feel, exposed.
Aroused.
Well, there's a little bit of that in there. Yeah. Always is, really.
The zinc oxide tape. So yeah, you're all right, Andy. It's basically taping yourself up. I'm not 100% sure with what the zinc oxide tape does, but it was on a lot of the forums sort of recommending it. I'm not reading the chat for a second. I'm just going to keep...
I have got a stranger. God damn it. I'll go and get it.
But yeah, I think the zinc oxide tape does two things. I think it helps absorb sweat a little bit. I think it provides an extra sort of skin layer over the skin. I might be wrong. I'm not an expert. Yeah.
Is it medicated tape, Mike?
It might be a medicated tape, but I did find. So I did a bit of wild camping on Dartmoor, and I was using zinc oxide tape, but I didn't have blisters once. So whether it works or not is a bit hard to tell. But I was using zinc oxide tape, and I didn't get blisters. So I do find
a preventative measure.
As a preventative measure, yeah. So what I found,
medicated foot powder, put it on to prevent fungal infection.
What I did find though is that if you do get a blister and you start putting zinc oxide tape on there, pulling the zinc oxide tape off doesn't do well for the blister because it's like super grippy, super sticky tape. So obviously when you're pulling the tape off, it's then pulling the skin about underneath it, and that made it just a shed ton worse. Like you need to make sure you really kind of wet that tape down before you try peeling it off, just to try and loosen some of that glue in advance.
Could you not put like a slight non-adhesive dressing over the blister and then put the zinc tape on it?
Quite probably, yeah, but I didn't have that with me. Like a moleskin type thing you're talking about, aren't you?
Yes, something like that. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think personally, it probably comes a little bit down to personal preference. But blisters are a bitch. So obviously, anything you can try and do to avoid them, you're going to be better off. And it's always better to be preventative than it is dealing with it afterwards. Because walking on a blister...
soak your feet, Kenny says. Good shout.
Yeah. There we go, James C. Zinc oxide provides an extra tougher skin, used as a preventative measure on pre-known hotspots. If you have a blister under it, I'd recommend just leaving the bugger until you're home if possible. Yeah, don't generally tape the try and take the tape off over the blister when you're out in the field. Zinc oxide tape is also good for taping up muscles and joints. So yeah, have some zinc oxide tape on you. It's good.
I have got some in my little possibles pouch. I've got some of that.
See, that is rage approved.
Rage approved. We love a bit of rage approved kit, like the self tacking camo tape stuff, gun wrap stuff. Yeah, got a roll of that on the Rages. Say so.
So I had a question on this particular image. So it kind of shows talcum powder everywhere. Were you? I wasn't trying to make a dick point. Did you put talc in the sock? I wasn't sure if you tried.
No, my foot was above the sock that I was shaking the powder on.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to check. I wasn't sure if that was.
Never done this.
Yeah. The use of the bag's a good idea, though. I quite like that for obviously keeping.
Oh, good. Oh, please. I'm glad there's a sensible fucking comment coming out of your fucking head tonight.
So, right. So what happened then? Obviously, you've dried your feet. You've dusted them down.
Dried my feet. Put my medicated powder on them. Medicated powder on them. Dry socks on, and then these are the sealskins going over the top of my new dry sockies. And then obviously from then I can put my soaking wet boots back on without any risk of getting wet feet again, which was good.
Cool. I don't know what some of these other pictures are. It's just you walking through the mud again.
There it is. Yeah. Splash, splosh.
Cameron's dad's a bit hardcore.
Yeah.
Wow, that's quite impressive.
What is him up against? Blisters.
I always remember my dad telling me to rub white spirit on your feet to harden them up against blisters. Never tried it though. I mean, I'm going to defer to Rage on that one, but I don't think that's the best idea.
Chemical burn.
That must be a That's got to be a Scottish thing from Cameron. I've never heard of that before. That's a very northern. Rub white spirit on them. Yeah. That's hardcore. Fair play.
That's quite.
Yeah.
Rub a load of white spirit on your feet.
The best thing I've
sit in front of the campfire. Oh.
The best thing I found with blisters is if you're going to be walking somewhere. So again, I can only really liken it to the wild camping because I've not served and I've not had to generally walk vast distances in my life. But I was wearing my boots sort of maybe 3 weeks in advance, just on regular outings, just trying to get used to them, sort of building up a little bit of like your feet, I guess, strengthening up a little bit. It's going to kind of like find the sweet spots and sort of any blisters that you're going to get, you can maybe identify early doors. And then when the blister's healing, is obviously going to form like that harder crust, I guess.
Yeah. I suppose it's almost like you get the old calluses that you're on the palms of your hands and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is always nice.
So going into the chat, more money than sense, Lance, is why you don't own a Trangia. Fresh Meat says Lancer is a Sabres in Red Hill.
Oh, I have to visit the Sabres place.
Danny says, what about toe jam? Does it stop that? What the fuck is toe jam?
Yeah, I don't know. Ain't that just the stuff that you get down the side of your nail? Well, a bit of sock fluff and a bit of this, a bit of that.
Moving on. Ryan says, I think Lance's fingers are getting a bit jealous.
Don't worry, boys.
This is a weird chat.
It'll be gloves soon. Don't worry. You'll get your moment.
Kenny says, anyone ever tried the gel blister patches that you can get in hiking shops and chemists? I can't say I have. I've tried the moleskin things. But
I haven't.
Andy,
I don't tend to suffer with blisters too much, really.
I keep a pack in my belt first aid. 2 or 3 little blister plasters. I've only had to use them once. Surprisingly, I had to put one on my shoulder where my new plate carrier was rubbing before I put the weighted plates in, and I ended up getting a blister on my shoulder. And I put the pad on, absolutely fine in a couple of days. That actually worked really well. The good ones are from Tesco's. They do a little blister pack, and it has like 4 or 5 different sized and shaped ones in there, and it's about yay big, and you just fit it into any pocket on your kit. It takes up no room. And they are good.
Did you find it helped instantly? Like, was there any advantage in that it kind of made the pain go away a little bit, or kind of took the pressure off?
It stopped it from rubbing and hurting, definitely. Like where my plate was sitting, like where my strap was sitting on it. It took the pressure away from it. and it just stayed there and fell off. And when it fell off, it just took a bit of dead skin with it, but it all healed underneath. So, like, I never really had any weepage or tempted to pop it or anything. It seemed to.
So your mic's a popper, and you might.
But once you've stuck it on, you can't get it off. Like, especially if you've got a bit of hair,
Oof.
You ain't getting that off like for a couple of days. Just leave it, let it fall off.
Doink, doink, doink.
little oval circle.
James C says, "Poor ground sign discipline, Lance." I don't know what that means.
Oh, I think it's all the powder on the floor. Don't worry, mate. That was completely snorted up. I mean, cleaned up. Following my
that was what the medicinal properties were. It's just cocaine, just rubbing cocaine on your feet. It runs super fast.
Oh, I've used far too much. Oh.
That looks like a fact slug Lance having a party in the woods.
Yeah, much the same as the previous reference, Mike.
Yeah,
if you're not aware.
Rhino foot. Oh, it's going well. It's going well. This is definitely a bit weird. Hi, Terry. Thanks for joining us.
This is all your fault.
A little bit of sense to the conversation.
Oh, Terry's there now. Bit late. Christ.
Yeah.
Beers are on you next week, son.
Terry, run away. Run away now while you've still got time.
Yeah. Rage says, we were told in the 90s that urine would also toughen your skin.
These two.
That's when MilSims get a bit weird, and it's just like, right, guys, we need to toughen our skin. Everyone piss on your feet.
That's when you truly are in the field.
Yeah. That's when your battle buddies are true battle
piss
buddies.
Your feet time, boys.
James C, conditioning your feet to what you'll be putting them through. So yeah, that's I think that's a bit of good advice generally. It's like, it's going to help, isn't it? Like, I don't know where I was going with that. Cameron, it was hard to harden the soles of your feet before wrapping them in Hessian and trekking across wild thistles.
That's Scottish reference there. Very good.
Yeah.
Good on you, mate.
Freedom!
Trekking across wild thistles.
Rage, when you're wearing boots and walking around a lot, your feet swell. One reason for blisters is people take their boots off, their feet swell slightly, and when you put them back on, boom, blister.
Boom, blister hits.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
I'm not suffered. I'm lucky. Touch wood.
James C.
Literally, I'll keep my boots on the entire time until I'm ready to go to bed.
Yeah,
and that gives your feet time to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same. I'll keep the boots on all day long. I have seen people loosen them off, kick them off, but I'll just keep them on. There's no better feeling than when you do get to take them off.
Yeah,
you just jump in your DOS bear for a couple of hours and feel, it's good. Yeah. Where's them tootsies at?
Yeah.
Where's Mike?
Where's Mike? James C. Gel blister patches are found them to be useless. Moleskins found them to be useless in my experience. See, I found the moleskins quite good in that it kind of pushed everything away from the blister a little bit. But yeah, I mean, the fundamental thing is that once you've got a blister, it's absolute pain to get rid of. And if you're putting pressure on it, ultimately the blister is formed because you've been putting pressure on it. So,
yeah,
he has had great successes with others, though. Oh, sorry, other people have had great successes though with the blisters and the gel blisters and moleskins.
Personal preference, mate, innit? Whatever works for you.
It's the same with boots and socks. Like we can say, yeah, Solomon's are the best in the world, but then someone will turn around and say, well, they rub on my feet, like they rub. Everyone's got everyone's foot shape's slightly different, isn't it? So we can just get everyone's.
Ryan said best solution for a blister is just man up.
Blister, what's a blister? Nothing.
But the trouble is, most people don't. They go, oh, I've got a blister, and they sit down for 2 hours.
Just pointing, bottom lip.
Yeah.
Terry says, yeah, Rage. I was also told about the urine. Nick says urine helps soften boots as well. And I think Kenny sums it up. It just sounds like a bootneck scam to get you to partake in a golden shower.
Yeah. I'm not walking around with feet and boots covered in piss. It's not happening.
Oh, dear. Right. What else are we going to talk about? Gators? Do we go back talk about Gators for a little bit?
Well, Gators around, didn't they? Obviously had a bit of protection to the lower leg and obviously over cover of the boot. So I've got a couple of sets, DPM Woodland ones and a MTP set. So yeah, it's just an added bit of protection in it, especially if you're going into like the spring seasons, but you still got a lot of wet tall grass, things like that. It just takes off that. Obviously, you need to keep your feet nice and dry with your boots and stuff on, but as soon as the bottom part of those trousers get wet, it's just like it's a bit of a pain in the ass. So if you can get them Gators on, nothing wrong at all. Good little bit of kit.
They stop things getting in as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Ticks and things like that.
Yeah.
They are a good investment.
Yeah. One thing I would say with Gators that I've found is that I wouldn't say my calves are particularly big. I don't know, but I have found that I've always had to buy like the larger size. So bear that in mind when you're trying them on. In that the actual sort of bottom of the leg isn't so bad, but then when it's coming up around your calf, it's obviously that's where it's tightest for me. So it's always good to sort of give them a go and sort of try them on. Just get the right sizing, because obviously I've bought several pairs where they're just way too small, and they're sort of advertised as large Gators. So whether people just have smaller legs than me, I don't know. I know I'm not the thinnest bloke, but I didn't think that people had massive legs because of it. But
yeah, but you got a smashing pair of legs.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Beautiful.
Apparently, Ryan was taught at Catterick to laugh at anyone in Gators.
That's not very nice, is it? Or even just like out in the high street, some old woman.
Why are women wearing Gators in the high street? I think I'd laugh.
Middle of summer, just pair of Gators on. Beautiful. Gators and flip flops. That's the way they go.
Gators and flip flops.
Gators and Crocs. Surely.
Gators and Crocs. No, they deserve to be laughed at. They deserve to have their gator removed and slapped with it. No.
Cameron says, funnily enough, I got blisters on my hands when fitting my Yeti Gators.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Gel plasters it is then.
Some of the proper hiking Gators, interestingly, are quite. I don't know if you've ever seen them. They actually effectively glue them to the bottom of the boot, and they're almost designed that they are, they're never properly coming off. And that they almost turn your boot into like a welly. So I know some more expensive Gators are like that. So I mean, the ones I'm talking about, I don't know what you guys have used before. Kind of like they've got like
it's got the stirrup underneath,
and
then the zip up the back sort of thing, the zip up the side.
Yeah, mine
about 30 quid. I think you can get for a set of them. Something like that.
How'd you find the Yeti ones?
Yeah, Yeti in 1945 ones I wore.
I think I've got the Berghaus winter ones where you actually put the boot inside it. It's got like a black rubber. It almost looks like the NBC boot covers, but they're not as gimpy, not like as black shiny PVC as them. But it's like a proper what's the sort of material? It's like a webbing Kevlar-y type material, but they're wicked winter gator. They like you put the whole boot in there. It just leaves the sole exposed at the bottom. It comes right up, wicked set. I looked at them; they're so good.
Were they the ones with the sheepskin lining, like the internal?
Possibly, yeah. I think I gave a set away of the ones I'm talking about at the NoFo. Someone had them, gave away a few free bits of kit in the late afternoon. Yeah. I'm sure someone had a set of Gators off me. Can't remember now. I know Les had a normal pair, but there was also another set.
And were they the lace ones or the pop ones?
A zip with a popper, with a pop stud on the back.
Yeah, they were good. They were good.
Nice bit of kit, that is. Nice bit of kit. Not had deep enough snow yet to warrant using them, so they're just sort of.
No, they're definitely a winter Gator, aren't they? They're definitely
brand new.
Terry, Fresh Meat says I got a set off you. So,
there you go. Terry never used Gators.
Terry says I've never used Gators, but I've been in some of the wettest places.
Leg putties. That's what you had. The old wrapping around the bottom. Tidy the bottom of the trouser and the top of the boot. Yeah, it was me. It was me.
To be fair, this is from Rage. Why are you going to need Gators in Airsoft? I don't see the point, to be honest. I would disagree on that. I think if you're ever running around long grass, I think ticks are an absolute nightmare, and it's a good way to stop them from getting up your trousers. Personally, I mean, I don't think I've ever found them for waterproofing per se. My trousers get wet; they're going to get wet.
I mean, I've used them, like I said, if you're going through like tall grass, things like that, or areas of woodland where you've got bracken, brambles, and sort of. It just helps. It's just it aids in the bottom of your trousers not getting completely sodding wet. So, but I mean that's sort of like for anywhere really. I wouldn't say it's like a gaiter is needed in airsoft or not. Rage. I'd say it's just one of them things. If you was out hiking somewhere and you had low-lying brush and stuff like that, I'm guessing you'd probably chuck a set on, unless you've got Gore-Tex trousers and sweating your balls off. But yeah, just a set of gaiters just to cover just below the knee to the top of the bottom of your boot. Yeah, works for me.
Ray says he's never had a tick, and that's a fair point. Yeah,
but they'd be scared of him, wouldn't they? They'd be like hanging on a bit of grass and going, "Oh fuck me, no." Wait for the next leg. On that
leg. Nick says potentially using rather than waterproof trousers.
Yeah,
I never wear waterproof. Like Gore-Tex trousers. It's just sweat your balls off. Totally horrible.
I'd rather wear a set of gaiters and have a bit of like a few inches of breathable area than wear a full.
Like Aaron says, going full Gary Gore-Tex, going full Gary. That's what they call it.
Take it all off and you're still
towing it.
Yeah,
you're actually wetter internally than the land. Look at me.
I do find that, like with any waterproofing layer. I mean, obviously this is striding from the subject slightly, but with any waterproofing layer, you put it on, you're like, oh yeah, it's good, it's keeping me dry. And then you take the waterproofing layer off after it's stopped raining, and you're like, did this even work? There's just so much fluid on the inside of it. And I get that's where the breathability comes in. But like all these things that say that they're breathable, I don't find that they're always breathable. But
I'm just generally very warm anyhow, so any extra layer on me is just like, for fuck's sake, boiling. Someone next to me is going, I'm like, you're right. I'm fucking freezing.
Fresh Meat says, don't knock putties. I wore them at the NoFo event and thought they were excellent.
There we go. See, there was no knocking of any putties here, sir.
No.
Stating the fact.
Yeah. Cameron says, I found that if you're wearing waterproof trousers and boots, there isn't always a need for gaiters. The trousers would cover the boot and Velcro shut.
Yeah, exactly that, mate. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. If you're wearing waterproof trousers, which obviously, like I said, I can't because I'll just get too hot on them. So I like the gaiters, and like Andy said, it's just that breathability as you get up towards Piffin's Bridge.
You're wearing your waterproof trousers and just running around with your fly open, just having a little bit of airflow. Kenny says, if there's deer about near me, there's ticks. He then also says, boiling a bag rice.
Boiling a bag rice. Yep.
Thanks, Kenny.
Thanks, Ken. Awesome.
Harry says, good Lord, we're not made out of sherbet. Man up, you'll soon dry out. If I were out in the wilds for weeks, maybe, but we're only playing games for such short periods.
Exactly. Don't know what he's referencing there, but defo Harry.
Yeah. And Ray says, I've used gaiters when hiking, especially across Kinder Scout and peat bogs and stuff.
So. There we go. I knew he'd come round. I knew he wore them.
See, what you need, Lance, is if you get hot, maybe like a camo set of chaps.
Arseless chaps.
Yeah, so everything's nice and cool in a certain area, yet the outside's waterproof.
Absolutely. Arseless chaps. Getting some. Stick a note. Make a note, Mike. We're getting some of them. NoFo, arseless chaps.
Camo chaps.
Yeah. I'm down. Down for that. We can attend some Wild West events then.
Kenny says when you're wearing full... I'm just ignoring the chaps because it's just grossing me out. Kenny says when you're wearing full waterproofs, he says boil in a bag.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah, now I get you. Yep. I thought you just gone off on one then. Boil in the bag. Something else. Word association. Uncle Ben's.
Will the chaps be on the OnlyFans? Oh.
Yes.
Maybe,
so
maybe not.
I'd just like to point out, so we had a little bit of a like team get together yesterday over Zoom or whatever, and we were having a chat and we were debating whether we could do an OnlyFans to sort of raise money for a charity at some point later in the year.
Hang on a minute. There was no we.
There wasn't we.
No, this was your fucking idea that you put to me and Andy.
Because we keep talking about OnlyFans, I thought it'd be something we could just so it wouldn't be like necessarily like a traditional OnlyFans video, but we might end up filming something, and the way you sort of vote if it's your favorite is by donating money to sort of 3 different pots for a charity donation thing. So that might be coming to a YouTube near you, and it's got to be, it's obviously not going to be too bad because it's going to be going on YouTube. So they're quite strict with their terms and conditions.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So hang on, one of you was saying that OnlyFans, the way it works or something, is that if you don't earn enough, they take all your money. That was definitely you, Andy. I'm pretty certain.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
See you later, Nick.
No comment. Have to go download you later. Thanks. No worries, Nick. All the best, mate.
Harry says maybe popping a couple of dry bag of boiling the bag rice in your wet boots could soak up the moisture. That's not a bad shout, actually.
That's a good shout. Yeah. Yeah. And then it'd be ready for when you get back.
Yeah.
What boggy, shitty rice.
Lovely.
Cold.
Probably
Probably not all of it's absorbed it all, so it's all crunchy at the top and then really soggy and shitty.
Right, getting back onto boots. Obviously, we've talked about the boots themselves. We talked about the socks. What about boot care? So obviously, how do you look after your boots properly?
I'm going to stay out of this one because mine is bad.
I do the dubbing, de-dubbing, and I do the brown. I don't know why I've gone all Jamaican. Brown shoe polish for the Allbergs, and then for the Akus, because they're like a stitched material outer, I just layers of dubbing, and that is it. That's all I do. Dubbing. If I get a little scuff in there, I'll do a hot spoon on it. There's my little teaspoon for heat that right up and melt the old polish into the gash on the leather toe cap or something. But yeah, cloth and just apply dubbing, let it dry for a bit, double coat of dubbing, and that's it. Job done. Beautiful. Easy peasy.
You ever done any waterproofing?
That's what the dubbing is.
Oh, is it? Sorry,
literally just soaks into it penetrates the leather, mate.
Oh, okay.
Nice and supple, nice and healthy, nice and waterproof. So I do recommend the dubbing.
Because I know, I think it's Deichmann offer a service when you buy new boots from them.
Machine.
Yeah, they do like the waterproofing coating, which it doesn't last forever. But I have taken a pair of boots into a store before and like, can you just do these? So I cleaned them all up beforehand. I wasn't making them scrub the mud off. But they give a little coating on that, and that seems to last quite a while.
Yeah, that's good stuff. That, yeah. Well, apparently, so I've heard it's like a machine. They just bosh it in there, don't they?
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, so just a thought. Ray says, brush mud off them if they are leather. Use wax dubbing and preferred waterproofing every year or so.
Yep, that's it, mate. Just keep them nice.
Cameron, kiwi polish on an on brush and an off brush. That's all I do, and it generally works fine. And Danny says, "Oi, cooking that brown."
You don't get me, fam. Fucking wet you, fam. You'll get me.
In my reenactment days, we used to use actual duck fat.
Oh, okay.
We used to rub duck fat into the boot to make make it waterproof. Yeah, like proper duck fat.
Oh, duck fat. I thought it was a gut fat. I was like,
no.
I was like, oh.
Because they used to do reverse leather, so it was all like stippled leather. So you put duck fat on it, and then you put your brown dubbing over the top, and yeah, it works absolutely wonders. Apart from if you have a dog and you come back and your dog's eating half your shoe.
I was just going to say that must attract wild animals as well.
Yeah. It's not. It works because we tried to do it like authentic, and it didn't work with the dog.
I bet the dog loved that. Not only do they like eating boots, general thing, but to cover it in an animal fat and just be like, this is like a gift from the gods. This is. Yeah.
It was like wearing a wedding.
He's like laying in bed, just like smelling it, going, "Oh, I can't. It's his boots. It's got a little bit. Oh, fucking hell, I can't." Oh.
All I can think is Danny literally sitting by the fire, just smelling like a roast dinner.
His toes ended up looking like little potatoes, little roast potatoes.
Bit crispy. Ryan says, just take them back to the store and to be exchanged.
Kenny
Rebel, I just nick wax some old 58 pattern webbing. Water just runs off.
Now I'm interested in that because Kenny, if you got the nick wax that you put in with your wash in your washing machine, and you've actually essentially just washed your 58 pattern with the treatments. Because I've got the two, I think it's the purple and the green lid nip wax, but I've not used it yet. So I'm keen to get some feedback on that, mate. 'Cause there's a few bits I want to do, like my soft shell jacket, for example. I want to treat that, and a couple of other bits. My schmuck, I want to do that, but just be keen. Unless you can get a spray, maybe a spray.
So what's nip wax? Is it?
It's like a material, like a clothing treatment.
Mm-mm.
It was a spray-on version. Oh, I'll have to have a look at that then, mate. Because I bought the ones that you actually put in the machine with your.
Yeah, it's like a little pouch.
It's almost like a re-waterproofing agent, Andy. You can get.
All right.
It's called Nick wax. I have to get a link for that. I've not used it yet, so I can't comment on how good it is. But loads of people have raved about it, so it's pretty well known to be.
With the spray-on, this is changing the subject slightly, but with the spray-on version, work as like a temporary tent repair. So say you're out and about and you've got like a the tent for some reason starts leaking a little bit because like the old surplus stuff that we use obviously isn't always perfect. Just wondering if you could, just as it's dried out, you just give it a quick spray, let it dry off, and then that's job done.
I suppose you could.
If it would last
but then, obviously, I've used that Fab Seal Gold on a lot of my Dutch Army, my canvas one, and that's worked a treat on that. The trouble that I did have is that I've got two of the Dutch Army tents, and the one I waterproofed I didn't take with me to an event. I took the one that hadn't been treated. So I was just like, but then to be fair, it rained and it still didn't leak. So whether it had been out and it had a proper soak test where you can let the fibers naturally swell, which is what you normally do with a canvas tent, like a Polish lava or something like that. You set it up in the rain, let it get saturated, and then the fibers swell. That makes the waterproofing, and then you sort of like you're good to go. Then once it's naturally dried, the next time you go out, you're good as gold. So maybe it was that was the case. But I do like Dutch Army tents, good, but that's not boots.
Rage is he said duct tape works as a good tent repair for holes, and that's exactly what I would normally do.
Yeah, I'll tell you another one as well, which I've used it on our family tent when we went camping. We had a really bad, well, I wouldn't say storm, but really heavy, strong winds one night for a couple of hours. And one of the ribs you get over the top of the tent that the fiberglass pole goes through, it actually tore, probably about a 6-inch tear down it. Obviously, the pole didn't come out, but it must have snagged and ripped in the night. I got some stuff called Tenacious Tape. It's not massively expensive, I don't think, but I put literally a strip of that over there once I took the tent down the following day. And that stuff is absolute bulletproof. Honestly, it's like armor. It's wicked stuff. So if you do get a tear, like a sizable tear in a tent, like, sometimes you get the rip and it's like an L shape, like a triangular flap it leaves there. If you need to do a repair like that, the Tenacious Tape is wicked stuff because you can do it one side and the other side, and it just creates that nice seal, waterproof seal. It's really good kit. Highly recommend that for tent repairs.
Kenny says, you can get it for tents too. It's called Nick Wax TX Direct.
Oh, okay, mate. Nice one, yeah. So I've got my Fab Seal Gold for my tents, but I definitely want to get that Nick Wax for belt kits and stuff because I want to do my PLCE, my 95 stuff down there. I want to give that a bit of a coating because I've not done that. Mind you, I suppose I could Fab Seal that, couldn't I, really?
Yeah.
I might do that, I might stick it in the old garage tomorrow, get the old pressure sprayer out. I need to do that. And I need to do my Bergen again, actually. Let's do that tomorrow.
Harry says, whilst Googling dubbing, influencing again, mink oil came up. Now I'm wondering, how do you extract oil from a mink?
Well, funny you should say that.
Ray says, have you never milked a mink, Harry?
Fans.
You haven't lived.
Never milked. You've not lived.
Apparently, mink oil is great for reviving old leather like helmet liners and things. Didn't know that. It was an interesting point.
Well, Mike needs that because you've got a lot of helmets, haven't you?
I do have a lot of helmets.
That need reviving.
I do.
You can actually see that video on our OnlyFans.
Something I don't think I've ever shared on this group is I bought a load of armored the helmets that they wear in tanks, basically like British Army equivalent. I think it's like the Mark 5 or Mark 6, but like the tank kind of command version. So it's like designed for like with the headphones and stuff. And I bought 4 of those, 3 of which are in various states of disrepair. For the principle at some point I would want to buy a tank. And I was like, the helmets are on eBay and they're cheap, so I might as well get those because the tank will be a little bit longer.
Forward planning. That's what that's called.
I love the thought, the health and safety side of it. First and foremost.
It's not health and safety. It's just the look, isn't it? Let's be honest. We all know that I'm just a poser, so it's all
It's
good.
all about the look. He's a tackle tart.
Lad at special school had a hat like that. Awesome. Thanks, Kenny.
Oh, God.
Terry says cock helmet for vehicle crew, Mike. Yeah, and Les says what a helmet. Cheers,
What a
guys.
helmet.
Always supportive.
Yeah.
Oh dear. All right, Andy, how's your first episode been?
Traumatizing.
I've endured 67 of these.
Yeah.
You've got off lightly thus far.
I think you haven't, Lance. I can tell
No,
you
actually, tell a lie.
haven't.
No, I haven't. No, I've been off for a 3 or 4. I think I've missed.
No, it's been enjoyable. Hopefully I can do some more. It's like
Yeah. I got
Nice,
many
mate.
more exciting things to come. So next week we're going to be doing a general Q&A. So if anyone's got any questions, feel free to throw them at us. You can do so. Andy, would you like to do the spiel, the social spiel?
no, because I haven't got it written down. I will do it next week.
Okay, that's a commitment there. So you can email us at nofochat@hotmail.com. Our Instagram is at November_Foxtrot_NoFo. And you can also contact us on our website, which is www.novemberfoxtrot.co.uk.
Sorry, I just read Les's comment.
Oh, what does Les say?
I think that's for OnlyFans, Les. I don't think that's for live streaming.
Can you do a helmet load on an episode? You mean load out? What?
I don't know about a helmet, though.
Les, could you
I
just
don't-
clarify what
sorry,
you're
Les,
asking?
I don't think I've got it in me, mate.
Not with the amount he's
Says
got.
Mike's the goat. I don't understand what is going on. Harry says this has to be one of the funniest episodes. Cheers, chaps. No worries, Harry. Thanks for joining us.
Pleasure. Always a pleasure, mate. Always
And
a pleasure.
Rage. I've actually got some news. I've been looking at buying a Trangia.
How would
Mostly just for
I'm
the
not having
memes.
this. Hang on.
Yes, is that enough?
That's the last we saw of Lance.
Yeah, he just walked off into the woodland.
Yeah, Les, we will do some helmet loadouts and bits and pieces. I think we've actually got a helmet section lined up, helmet episode lined up at some point. So.
That's going to be full of innuendos. That one.
It will be. I think most of the episodes are, though, to be fair.
Yeah, true.
We're just awkwardly filling while Lance is just rooting around his loft trying to find his Trangia.
I can't really find it now. Typical.
Just hear him muttering in the background.
There you go. Kenny says, I love my
Can't
Trangia
find it.
stove. I've also, I genuinely spent.
I don't hate I love Trangia. I can't find it though because I think it's in my bushcraft bag. But I have got my fuel flask, which I keep my meths. So I have got one, Rage. I don't hate Trangias. I love them. I just wanted to make that point. I don't know why he thinks we hate them. I love them. I love a Trangia.
I did spend a little bit of time at the weekend trying to work out if we can make some, the Rage Trangia.
Oh, you're such a toss.
Stickers.
I'm going to find it after the show, and I'm going to send you a fucking video of me.
I can't find it
it.
because he doesn't own one.
I don't know. I'll admit I haven't got a full the whole Scout Leader big Kelly kettle flask thing. I've only got like the Trangia burner thing.
Rage loves Trans Terry.
I love Trans Terry when he decides to be Trans Terry.
Oh right. Les says we ain't mentioned Swish for a while.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
We're gonna call it a day. There's just a couple of things. So obviously
We all love Trangia, number one.
We all love Trangia. Feel free to leave us a review on our Facebook page or through Apple Podcasts. Obviously 5-star reviews. Lance is very keen for us to read out. So annoyingly, we've made the commitment that whatever people say in a 5-star review, we have to read out. And if you throw in an accent on there as well, then that gets read out in that accent by one of the three of us now. So there you go, Andy.
I never agreed to nothing.
It's in the T's and C's.
He volunteered to read in accent, so any review is Mike's.
Okay, well,
and plus he's a professional actor as well.
I'm not a professional actor. You have to get paid to be professional. We're going to be updating the website as well over the next few weeks. We've already had a couple good ideas. So Rage threw in about some links to veteran support groups.
Yep,
Harry's
doing that.
asked for a MilSim lingo support sort of section. Not a support section, just a section on MilSim lingo.
Wants a MilSim lingo support group.
So if anyone's got any suggestions on that, we're going to be adding to that and putting some bits and pieces. We're going to be throwing more reviews on there, and he's going to be joining us in writing some of the reviews on the kit as well. And we're going to be adding some more event companies onto the calendar. Tell your friends about it. Obviously, the more people that use the website, the more we can make the website be. And if anyone's got any other ideas of things to add to the website, let us know via the various groups, or just have a chat with us, and we can look at bringing them up.
Danny wants to run the lingo section of the website.
Yeah, you can run the lingo section, Danny.
I second that.
I'll tell you what. We'll do a MilSim. We'll do a MilSim lingo section, and then we'll do a Croydon Hammond section on that thing as well. Yeah. Danny, I'll be in touch. You can send us some stuff over.
Acronyms and abbreviations from a military perspective, and then Danny's interpretation of them on the other side.
Awesome.
Cool.
Anything else from you guys, gents?
No, all good, mate. All good. Lovely jubbly. Cracking episode.
I'll add a link to the Trangia Rage. Don't worry about it. Ray says, I buy meths for mine, Kenny, dirt cheap. We're obviously talking about Trangias. Cameron says, thanks for the morale injection, gents.
Absolutely.
Says B&Q do big bottles of alcohol I use instead of the hiking shop's extortionate prices. Terry says, only on weekends, Lance.
No, absolutely, mate. Yeah. You've been spending too much time in South Kensington, mate.
Yeah. And Danny says, I eat big tings.
Yeah, absolutely.
In it, blood.
In it. Yo, West Side. West Side.
What's that?
West Side.
West Side.
That's right. Just quickly. That symbol, by the way, is called the Shaka, and it came from Hawaii. Funnily enough.
Good.
A little bit of learning for this week. Because someone asked me why I kept sending text messages with that on, and I was like, I don't really know. I think it means like hang loose.
Sweet, coolio.
Oh,
I thought it was international sign language for phone.
Yeah, call me. Call me, baby.
Yeah, hang loose. There you go.
Hollow. Also hang loose.
Right. Anyway, it's just bimbling on. Nice one. Join us next week. Say goodbye, gents.
Goodbye, gents.
Bye, gents.
We'll see you later. Ciao.